Hi you guys, my name is Faye and I need a vacation and I think you do too, so let's distract ourselves with some reality TV nonsense. Today I'll be talking about the 6th episode of Bravo's new show, Next Gen NYC. The show picks up with Ariana and Hudson, Amira and Kevin, as well as Georgia and Omar on a boat ride. And they talk about the fact that Gia has gotten them a house in Ocean City. So they actually are going to the Jersey Shore. I cannot wait. Amira asks Georgia for an update about the Charlie situation. And Georgia tells her the update is he's dead to her. They're all shocked, they're all surprised. I am not, however. In her confessional, Georgia explains that Charlie's insults about her being dirt poor and worthless really triggered childhood insecurities of her being rejected by the rich or richer Upper East Siders. So for her, the relationship is irreparable. Hudson calls Charlie's behavior unacceptable as well. And by the way, they are all shocked that all this has happened because of a speaker. Hudson mentions that with the money Charlie saved at the box the other night, he could have just went and bought a new speaker. Apparently, Charlie slithered out of the section and they haven't seen him since. Another one of the guys speaks up. I do not know what his name is. Sorry to that man. But he tells them that Charlie actually texted him, "Thank you for starting the fight because now I don't have to pay and I can get out of it." He is such a bum, honestly. So the group decides that they're gonna approach Charlie where he can't run away at the shore and have a sit-down conversation with him. But thankfully, Hudson makes sure that they agree to not do that on the first night because that is Brooke's birthday. In the next scene, we see Brooks and his boyfriend. I don't remember his name. But yeah, they're planning out the calendar for the next year. And then Brooks draws a little engagement ring on a certain date, which is their anniversary. And he lets his boyfriend know that he expects a ring. And in the confessional, Brooks tells us that he actually meant to be married with a child already at 25. Isn't that so young? Can you imagine Brooks with a child? No, sir. Georgia is touring a venue, a bowling alley. She wants to throw a party there. And she says her signature is taking non-traditional spaces and turning them into the biggest parties. Even though Georgia is kind of hit or miss to me, I do have to acknowledge that she definitely has a way with people. She is really bonding with this lady. I don't know if she's an employee or the owner at the bowling alley, but they are bonding over the fact that they both love Led Zeppelin, and Georgia actually shows her a Led Zeppelin tattoo. In her confessional, Georgia shares her goals with us, and by the age of 30, she wants to accomplish a lot. Like, she wants to own many venues, okay. She wants a booked and busy events production company, okay. But she also wants to write a book, she wants to produce a movie, and she wants to own a car company. I don't know, that is a lot, but hey, you gotta dream big and fingers crossed you can get it all done. Oh, and she also wants to own a hotel chain. Not one hotel, a hotel chain. Next, we see Kim Zolciak, Bierman, visiting her daughter in Hudson. They're all so excited and happy to see each other. They show Kim the apartment and she's just so impressed, so happy for them. And it's really funny because Ariana shows her a little room with a big beanbag chair and tells her that that's going to be her bed. And I have to say, Kim takes it really well, but Ariana says, "It's only a joke. I'm going to get you a hotel room." Again, very lovely Ariana, but I mean, Kim should be getting her own hotel room, but we move on. Ariana shares that her mother really is her best friend, and she also tells us more about the divorce. She said she was 21 years old when it all happened. So wasn't that a year ago? Isn't she 22 or is she 23? Whatever. But she says her father actually sat her and her sister down and straight up told them, "You have no money." And Hudson, gets in on the conversation and he goes, "One day you think you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and the next day you have nothing." And apparently, even back then, because remember, they've known each other for a very long time, he used to ask her, like, "Why don't you have your own account set up? Why don't you have your own card set up?" Kim tells the two of them that she is desperate to sell this house. Remember the shared house her and Croy live in? And that's been in the news a lot. And she claims that it was appraised at, I think she said 5.5, and she's now already reduced it down to $4 million because she just wants to get out of there. Ariana shares that Kim is struggling to keep up with the bills in that house and that she does come to her and ask for help, which does put Ariana in a tough spot. Get that nurse degree out, Kim, and go to work. Hudson does say, however, that he would never disrespect Ariana's parents, no matter how frustrated he gets, because those are still her parents. And Ariana does let us know that recently her mom hasn't asked her for money and that she's just sent her a little bit here and there. Back at the apartment, Ariana does let Kim know that Riley will be joining them for dinner, which Kim doesn't really have a big reaction to. But then Ariana jokes that Candy will also be joining, and Kim is not having it. And she actually tells Ariana and Hudson that Candy took her to court. And rightfully so, might I add. But also, why are you involving the children in this? I mean, Candy was so gracious towards you by not mentioning to Riley what's been going on with you or what went on. And of course, you have to be the type of parent who pulls children into her drama. I don't like that. Also, might I add that there's something so unclassy about Kim, just the way she asks for more wine. She's like, you only gave me a centimeter of wine or something. And then the way she's sitting there spraying spray cheese on her cracker, there's something like so déclassé. I'm sorry, guys. On the bright side, however, Ariana does share with her mom that her and Hudson have finally found a manufacturer for their clothing line here in New York. And I'm so happy for the both of them. I just really hope that it's going to be high quality. After that, we get a Charlie and Ava scene. They are shopping for a birthday gift for Brooks and they're trying to buy him an outfit. I don't know, I feel like buying someone clothes is just not the best gift because there's just too much room for error, like regarding size and fit and style. I don't know, just get a gift certificate or just a really well thought out gift. Honestly, it's kind of a blah scene to me. Charlie in the confessional insults the Jersey Shore by saying the show is about ugly chicks and ripped dudes beating each other up. That's really disrespectful, and I really do not know. I can't fathom why Charlie thinks that he's so much better than everyone. Like, what is it? Because last time I checked, the only person who has accomplished something is your father. His accomplishments do not transfer over to you. So you have no position to look down on Snooki and JWoww and Mr. DJ Pauly D in the gang. Okay? Also, in the store, I find the sales assistant so annoying. She really seemed like she's just desperate for camera time. She keeps addressing them and making unnecessary comments and jokes like, no ma'am. Ava does let Charlie know that she might not be coming on the trip because she has a fashion thing going on. And Charlie is really desperate for her to come. Like, he tries to convince her. He tells her that her and Dylan are the only people he really has on the trip and that it will be so much whacker without her for him. But Ava doesn't want to go because of the 6-hour drive, which I get because apparently her event is in the Hamptons and they're going to be in Jersey. And that is a lot to go back and forth. Gia's sitting in the makeup chair. She's getting ready for a photo shoot and she calls her mom, Teresa, to let her know about the trip. And in the confessional, she tells us that the Jersey Shore does get a bad rap, but that it's actually what you make it. You can have whatever experience you want. You can chill out and relax at the beach, play games, but you can also get super drunk and get arrested at the Boardwalk. So it's really up to you. Back to Ariana, Hudson, and Kim. They are on the way to Little Italy. They're gonna meet Riley for dinner. Ariana really shares with us again that Kim is her BFF and she just wants it to stay that way forever. And she notes that the last couple years have been full of tough conversations. I mean, obviously, Kim is so from you, but she doesn't want that. She just wants to have a nice time with her mom. Riley and Ariana have a shared confessional where they talk about the fallout between Kim and Candy. And Riley says she does not know, like, genuinely what they beefed about. Candy told her it is none of her business, unlike Kim, who involved her daughter. But let's be honest here, that is total BS. Of course, Riley knows what they beefed about. The entire world, or let's just say the entire Housewives world, viewers and housewives included, know why Candy and Kim fell out. It's because Kim used Candy for tardy for the party and she made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of it, according to Candy, and did not pay her. Like, all she gave her was, I think she said $3,000 or something, which is beyond disgusting because up to that point, Candy and Kim had actually been so close. Like, even their daughters had become best friends. Like, they were going on vacations together. That being said, When Riley does show up at the restaurant, Kim does greet her warmly enough. Ariana and Riley tell Kim about the situation at the box as well, and Riley shares that it's actually not even 14K, it was almost 15. When I tell you Kim fell out, like she looked like she was genuinely traumatized, like she was done for the night. And Riley tells her that when everyone was supposed to put their cards down and it was Charlie's turn, he straight up told them, I don't have a card. Everyone knows that. I have Apple Pay. Apparently, Charlie also told the group that it's fine. Hudson can just cover 4K for the table. And Kim, rightfully so, says that that is disgusting. And like I said earlier, the group have not seen him ever since. Kim is like, shocker. And Kim also lets them know that Hudson is a target, because of his family's wealth. But Hudson brings up that Ariana is also a target. Apparently, Charlie didn't just tell Ava about his little infatuation with Ariana. He actually told Riley, her best friend. He was like,
Ariana's cute. She's actually hot.
And Riley's like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. She has her man. And he was like,
she has her man for now.
I'm sorry, Charlie, but do not flatter yourself. Ariana has a man who is coined up, but also who seems to be a kind, loving person, and you cannot compete where you don't compare. Hudson reveals that the first night they met, Charlie was looking Ariana up and down. I did not catch that, but we actually see a flashback, and it is totally true. He even does like this gross lip movement or whatever. And Ariana says that he was also looking at Hudson up and down, and they both agree that they do not know which one of them he actually wants. Probably both of them, Ariana for her body and Hudson for his money. Hudson tells Kim basically that Charlie wants to F his girlfriend and have him pay for the section. I do have to admit that it was cute to see Kim for a quick sec, and I loved her reaction to the Charlie story. That was everything. We see everyone packing up for the trip. Georgia's looking at different items and she discards one of them and says that that would pick up on her BO. Wow, she has BO. I would be shocked, but after the whole not washing her hands thing, I guess it makes sense. Emira, in her confessional, mentions that there are so many places she would prefer to the shore. She counts them off, but then she gets to Ibiza and she tells us once again that she has been banned from there. She said this, I think it was the first or second episode. Like, what's the story there? Tell us more. I need to know. Hudson is commenting on Ariana's wardrobe. He says that he doesn't want Charlie to have even more material. And in the confessional, Ariana says that he does get jealous, to which first he wants to deny it, but then he corrects himself and says yes, but he's also competitive. And that Charlie has another thing coming if he thinks he's going to come in between the two of them. Good for you, Hudson. But also, Ariana can dress how she wants. We then get to the topic of Hudson's jewelry. Charlie in his confessional is saying that it's flashy, insecure vibes, and that Hudson is too rich to be showing off his wealth. But Hudson says that he just loves his jewelry. He loves fashion. He loves all of his items. That is his thing. And he simply wears his pieces because he loves them and not to be flashy. The group is on their way to the shore. They're riding together in two vans. Before they get in, Charlie gives Brooks a birthday gift and it's in a bag. And please, production, show us the gift. I need to know what he gifted him. But then Charlie, apparently from what Brooks said, did not even pack a suitcase. I really hope to God that's not true. But we do see some loose items that Charlie just throws in the trunk. And honestly, Charlie is giving hobo more and more. Like, it's crazy at this point. Charlie then tells Brooks that he's super excited about gambling. And I'm like, with what money, sir? Like, I'm not like trying to drag you, but like, with what money are you going to gamble? You owe all these people. We find out that Dylan is not coming. He's going to be finishing his move. And I was really surprised to learn that he's moving out of the apartment with Charlie. So it must have been really bad for him to just pick up and move. Charlie says it's because they were just two in each other's spaces in this tiny little S-hole apartment in Midtown. I don't know. In the car, Charlie brings up the box story again. He says that Hudson only got stuck with the bill because Riley was on some S and didn't want Dylan's money, didn't want Charlie's money, and just kicked them out. And it almost feels like he's trying to convince everyone of the story, but just because you keep saying it doesn't make it true. And Brooks definitely does not look convinced. Charlie tells Brooks and Chloe that he totally forgot that Riley was going to be there as well. And he says this in such a negative tone. I'm like, Charlie, What is your problem with Riley? I really want to know. You owe her money. Riley even tells us that Candy is upset with her because basically she paid and her friends paid for Charlie to bring all these girls and just drink up all the alcohol. She told her they got. Charlie then texts Georgia to find out if they're good or if they're gonna be in an argument. And while Riley gives him the grace to think that maybe he wants to apologize, Georgia straight up dismisses it by saying all he's trying to do is get me on his side. And I am inclined to believe that as well. Everyone gets to the Jersey Shore. The house looks beautiful. The beach is amazing. And like I said, I really need a vacation. But while the house is gorgeous, it is missing a duck phone. If you know, you know. Chia shows Charlie to his room, but to get there, they have to go outside of the house, and a neighbor calls out to them saying that she loves Gia's mother, Teresa. Gia thanks her kindly, but of course Charlie has to be negative and say, oh, that's gonna be fun living next to. And I'm just like, Charlie, why do you hate fun? Like, what is your issue with the housewives and their children? I do not understand. Part of the group has not yet arrived. They're grocery shopping. Meanwhile, the others are at the house. There's not that much to say, honestly. Apparently, Georgia has never been to the grocery store. She later tells Brooks that she's been less than 10 times, and she's running around the store excited like a little kid, basically. Meanwhile, at the house, Brooks and Amira talk about how they're afraid of sharks, and Brooks wants to crochet friendship bracelets with everyone, but nobody's really into it. At the store, the total comes up to almost $400. Ariana is a little concerned, but Georgia reassures her, look, divided by 12, $400 is not a lot. But Ariana throws some shade at Charlie and tells her, well, it's gonna be divided by 11, remember, because one person is not gonna contribute. They bought a cake for Brooks, which I think is nice, but it also, I don't know, I just wish they had went to a bakery and had ordered a real like handmade fresh cake for Brooks, but that's just me. They get to the house, they sit down and do a seafood boil together. And before Charlie shows up, Riley lets everyone know that she's trying to keep her distance from Charlie and that the only people who he's cool with are Brooks and Chloe. Charlie comes in and he greets everyone and he tries to hug Georgia, but she's not feeling it. She's just kind of stiff as a board. Charlie questions her reaction by asking,
is that real?
I really do not know what goes on in this man's mind. Maybe he's delusional, but he really thinks him and Georgia would be good after he called her dirt poor. Brooks pulls Georgia aside and asks her about the Charlie situation, but Georgia promises him that she does not want to do or say anything that will start drama on his birthday. But Brooks keeps pushing her because he wants the tea, but he's doing it under the guise of being a supportive friend. When Brooks hears how bad it is, however, he goes,
oh, I don't want to be involved. This is crazy. This is just incomprehensible to me. I don't want to be in the middle of anything.
But sweetie, you wanted the tea. Like, what do you mean you don't want to involve yourself? Then there's an ugly little scene. So I have to say this before. Amira did not partake in the seafood boil. She's not a seafood person. So she orders herself some food. And then when her food comes and she starts sitting down to eat and unpacking everything, Georgia goes,
ew, what is that?
And actually shames Amira for eating. Like, that is so gross to me. She's like,
oh, don't you know we're going out to eat later? There's food in the fridge, you know?
And I hate that. Just mind your business. Like Amira said, you are not a doctor, you are not a nutritionist, and she does not need your input on her food. And honestly, that's how people get eating disorders. Like, why do people feel the need to comment on people's eating habits or bodies? Mind your business. Oh, and I almost forgot, Georgia even says that Ozempic is wearing off. That is so disrespectful, and I'm like annoyed. Like, I've been trying to like you, Georgia. I'm writing for you with the whole Charlie thing. Why do you have to be so nasty? Literally and figuratively. In her confessional, Amira calls Georgia classless for that behavior, and she lets everyone know that she's comfortable in her body, and good for you, girl. So, as Charlie predicted earlier, Ava is not coming on the trip. What bothers me, because I totally understand that she can't come, that's her career, but what annoyed me is that she did not let Brooks know, and it's his trip and his birthday. The group only found out because Charlie texted Ava to ask where she is. I'm sorry, but that to me is messed up. Everyone then disbands to get ready for the casino. Hudson puts a hairband around a thick wad of cash. Wow, it must be nice. I also have to mention Georgia's chipped nails. It's been bothering me this whole episode. Like, fix it or take it off. That is so tacky. I mean, yes, it happens to all of us, but honestly, we're not on TV. So during the car ride to the restaurant, Charlie and Gia end up in the same car. And for whatever reason, Gia takes this opportunity to address Charlie. It's almost like she's giving him a lecture. She's telling him that he should be more self-aware, that he should speak up for himself, that he should paint his own character, and blah, blah, blah. And Charlie's just sitting there, literally not listening at all. Like, this is so awkward. Read the room, Gia. While this is happening, Brooks is literally trying to physically get away from the situation. Deadass, he climbs over the rows of seats until he's in the trunk. He cannot handle any type of conflict. And for whatever reason, production chooses to play a monotone voiceover of Brooks where he's talking about crocheting. It's really annoying. And honestly, conflict is a part of any relationship, and this is reality TV. So in my opinion, Brooks should step up or step off when it comes to the drama. Charlie tells everyone that he wants to leave instead of sitting here and getting this in his ear. He prefers peace. He's not a fake person. He can't pretend to do something he doesn't want to do or be somewhere he doesn't want to be. And he's literally only an Uber click away. Why don't you just leave then? As my father used to say, do not talk about it, be about it. And honestly, Charlie is such a buzzkill. He's giving full-on petulant child here. It is so annoying. Omar's waiting to meet them in front of the casino. He's wearing another one of his suits. Do not mind that at all. But my question is, why are they so ill-fitting? Why? Charlie is refusing to go into the casino, which is why Amira then pulls Georgia to the side and convinces her to speak to Charlie and hash it out. When they do speak, Charlie immediately wants to dead the situation by apologizing, like giving a very surface apology, like,
oh, I'm sorry for our fight. I'm sorry for what I said.
He just wants it to be over. But Georgia's not playing along. She straight up tells him that things that have been said on both sides, and I appreciate her for saying that, for not pretending she's this victim here, but she tells him that things that they both have said are irreparable, and she wants nothing to do with the situation, aka him. She also lets him know that everyone is upset with him to a certain degree, to which Charlie seems genuinely surprised, like, have you forgotten what happened? Charlie immediately shuts down and says again that he wants to go home. It's not a comfortable vibe. He wouldn't even stay for his own mother at this point, yet he does not leave. He literally goes to the boardwalk and sits on a chair like a loser. I know it's a TV show, you're mic'd up, you're getting paid, and people are probably telling you to stay, but it gets to a point, dude, just pick up your things, leave with your dignity somewhat intact, because this is embarrassing. Georgia goes up to the table to where everyone is sitting and lets them know about their talk, which is when Gia jumps in for some reason and starts defending Charlie by saying that he should be able to enjoy himself as well. And she kind of blames Georgia for being upset with him by saying they've been friends for such a long time and now Georgia is suddenly flipping a switch. Georgia tells her she does not know what happened, and Riley tries to explain it to her when Charlie walks in. He sits down at the table. Everyone has their meal. It is awkward to me, and we see Ariana and Brooks taking selfies with Charlie. Weird. Georgia immediately catches it and starts talking to Riley in hushed tones, like she can't believe what's happening since they've clearly had so many negative things to say about Charlie. But now they want to be in his face, taking selfies with him. Ariana catches Georgia mumbling to Riley and addresses the situation. And basically, Georgia says she's upset about the fakeness. And Riley tells her they were talking about people saying one thing and doing another. And personally, I hate it, and I've always hated it, when people have so much to say about a person behind their back and secretly hate them, but then they want to smile in their face and pretend they're friends. Chloe then decides this is the perfect moment to bring out a magician to perform magic tricks. Cringe. Georgia and Ariana argue about her being fake. Gia defends Charlie again and calls him a poor kid sitting at dinner. Then Riley chimes in, letting her know it's ridiculous to call him a kid. This man is 29 years old. Then Ariana turns around and lets Charlie know that she's said everything to his face already and that she still thinks he's a DICK. Charlie sits there asking why is he being yelled at now, like he's not the center of all of this drama. And literally, while all of this is happening, We get the most annoying voiceover from Brooks about absolutely nothing. We miss 90% of the drama. We have no idea who's saying what. And it is absolutely incomprehensible to me why production chose to center Brooks' boring vocal fry of a monologue over the actual drama happening at the table. Why? This is where the episode ends, however. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you on our next vacation. And until then, have a great day. Bye.